Hey everyone, welcome back to Ruijie RCNA class. I am Nick Xia. Today we need to learn trunk principle and configuration. Last course, we learned VLAN principle and configuration. We learned that a VLAN is a logic network, and different VLANs are isolated. In one switch, this technical department belong to VLAN 10 and this financial department belong to VLAN 20. So their data are isolated. But in the topology, there is another switch here. We call it a transit switch. So how to configure this switch? First, let us think about what this switch needs to do. We know this switch will forward the data with VLAN 10 and VLAN 20. Then this data needs to be sent to here and then to here. So first, the transit switch needs to support different VLANs. It needs to transfer the data of different departments. Then, this data are also need to be isolated. So we know we cannot configure the access VLAN again, because one port with access mode can only support one VLAN. Now, let us see what is the trunk. When the data sent to this access switch, it will check the interface belong to which VLAN and then add the tag, the VLAN ID for them. Then this data will be sent to this trunk link to this transit switch. And let us see what happened. We can find that this transit switch just forwarded them to the access switch without changing anything. Then this access switch receives this data with VLAN ID. It will remove this tag and forward it to the PCs. This is because normally the terminal device cannot ignore the VLAN tag. So now let us see what's the VLAN format. Here we call it the packet frame because we know frame is in the data link layer. In one frame, there is the destination MAC address, source MAC address, length, type, date, and FCS. So when this frame sent to this switch, here pay attention, this interface belongs to VLAN 10. And then we can find that the switch added the VLAN tag to this packet. And then this frame changed to 802.1Q data frame. So what's the difference between them? We can find here there is a new tag here, and this tag has 32 bits. We only care about the last 12 bits. Its name is VLAN ID. Now we can calculate 2 to the power 12 equals 4096. The first VLAN and the last VLAN are not allowed, so we can use 4094 VLANs in one switch. Here, the VLAN of the port that receives the standard Ethernet data frame, that is the VLAN ID specified in the access command. Now, let us see an animation of the adding and removing text. The PC sends the frame to the switch. This is the standard frame. Then, the frame checks the interface and adds the VLAN tag. Then send to the trunk link, and at last, remove the tag. We watch it again. Okay, now we need to learn how to configure trunks. For this access switch, only the 24 interface belongs to the trunk. So we can check here, interface 24 and the switch port mode trunk. Pay attention, this time is not access VLAN again, it's switch port mode trunk. Then for this transit switch, the interface 1, we change it to switch port mode trunk. You may confuse what this trunk interface belongs to which VLAN. We need to tell you a trunk port belongs to all VLANs. Let us check here. Use show VLAN, the 24 interface. Then we can find it belongs to VLAN 1, also belongs to VLAN 10, and belongs to VLAN 20. Okay, a trunk port belongs to all VLANs, so it can support all the VLAN and forward them. Now, let us have a summary. Today we learned the trunk principle and the configuration. The trunk port has two functions. It can transfer data with different VLANs, and it can also isolate them. I leave several questions for you. Please read and answer it. Thank you for watching this video. See you next time.